All right, what's up, Dragon Brood? It's that time. We got Marvel superheroes around the corner, and we have a lot of information, right? We had the early access stuff last week. We've seen a lot of sales, talked to some of our retailer friends, seeing what's moving, and, following discussions online to see what people are working on. And there's some cards that so far have kind of underperformed based on the hype and the prices. So we're hoping this list helps you out when trying to decide what to craft or not craft. And we also have another accompanying video of things that you should craft, so you should check that out as well. And be aware that it's not an exhaustive list of any kind, and I don't think anybody should only follow my list. Definitely listen to other creators, other podcasts. Just use it as one data point to make your decision. And everything on this list, just like on our do craft list, is going to be on here for different reasons. So please follow the logic as to why they made the list, because I know some of you are going to disagree with some of these decisions. We're starting with Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's a 6 mana, 4 green green sorcery. It has teamwork 5, so you can tap stuff with power 5 or greater. And reveal the top 8 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards from among them onto the battlefield. If the spell is cast using the teamwork, you put any number of them you find onto the battlefield. And this card is okay. We don't get me wrong, we had a fun video where we did a couple of crazy things with it, right? But it's kind of redundant for what we have in standard, right? Because there's Smuggler Surprise, there's Random Encounter, World War Hulk. Like, we have this ability a few different ways. And I don't think this is necessarily more powerful than the other ones. Like, for example, if you put the creatures from your hand on the battlefield, which just searches, so slightly different, with Smuggler Surprise, right, you can do it at instant speed. Or if you random encounter, which has the same cost, just happens to be red, then those creatures have haste and they can trigger and do things immediately. So you're not just like putting things on the battlefield and then your opponent plays Day of Judgment or whatever. Also, to get the teamwork, you're also saying I'm not going to attack with some things that are already big so that I can try to get more big things on the battlefield so I can attack you next turn. So I don't know. There's just a few ways that it's not quite what you're looking for. Now, even if you do decide to play it, I think you just want like one copy, maybe two, but realistically one, and kind of accompanying. Why is that such a hard word to say? Damn it. Like, but you know what I'm saying. Going along with those other cards in that deck. So we'll see how it goes. But for now, I would say hold off on this if you were super excited about crafting it, because you probably have some other options that are equal or better, and just wait and see what happens with that deck and how this ends up being used. Also, side note, with me just getting tongue tied, I saw a crazy tongue twister the other day. Like, if you try to say Irish wristwatch really fast, I have trouble. Irish wristwatch. Say that really quickly. It just sounds like you have a mouthful of marbles. Anyway, more cards. So, Baron Helmut Zemo. This is the one I think people are going to argue with the most on this list. Now, if you watch some people play this in early access, they either did really well with it or really bad with it. And I don't think we know what the actual right answer is. And that's the main reason I'm telling people to hold off on this card. Partially because in early access, you're not even playing against really maximized decks. Everybody's testing cards, we're all figuring things out. And it is a fairly easy card to kill. It's a 3/3 with no ward or anything like that. And it relies on the graveyard. And if these other reanimator decks still stay popular, people are still going to be bringing their graveyard targeted things. And at that point, you kind of have to hope you can do everything you need to do in one turn, and that can be pretty difficult, especially if you're playing in still a pretty aggressive standard format. However, when this card does hit and do the thing that it's trying to do, it's pretty damn impressive. So I think in general, if you're going to be playing this, just take it with the grain of salt that you're taking a risk. Am I saying the card's terrible? No, not by any stretch. The card is very cool. It does some really neat things. But I think this could be a standard that's still fairly hostile to what this card is trying to do. So I would wait on this for probably about a week, 2 weeks, then really get a feel for what people are playing and decide if you want to craft it or not. This is more of a like, maybe not craft right now more than just don't craft at all. There is a little bit of nuance there. Cosmic Cube. Okay, first thing I want to say about this card. Yes, I'm probably going to build a deck with this on the channel, and yes, it's going to be hella fun. But do I expect it to be super competitive in top tier? Probably not. Partially because it costs 5 mana, right? That's the thing. I think when we read the ability, we go, oh, it has ward, so our opponents aren't going to get rid of it easy. Ward 2 even. That's awesome. But whenever you attack, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them with mana value less than or equal to the greatest power among attacking creatures you control without paying its mana cost. Put the rest on the bottom of the library in random order. That's kind of cool, right? We get to attack with some 4 or 5 power thing. We get a 4 cost thing for free. Like, that's cool. It has possibility of whiffing, so that could suck. But anything you're getting for free is kind of awesome, right? But you're not going to play this in a deck that has a bunch of little 1/1s or making tokens and attacking. Cause, like, I mean, I guess if you have something that costs 0 or 1, but there's not going to be very many things, right? It needs to be played in a deck that has the 3, 4, 5 power things in it. And then you're also taking away your ability to play something else because it eats up a slot. And, like, yeah, it's for funsies. If you crack a one of just from some packs you open and you want to play it, go for it. But don't go spending a lot of resources making this card. I'm not even sure how much of an impact this would make in Commander, though it's probably fun in some, like, I don't know, bracket 2 or 3 silly things, just trying to go off with something wild. But generally speaking, I don't think you're going to see too much of this card, at least for the first few weeks till somebody figures out something wild to do with it. And even then, it's probably only going to go in that one deck. Yeah, this is one, oh boy, people are going to want to fight over this card. Just be reasonable in the comments. I get that the card's good. The card has all the words. Like, I'm on your side. Understand that when I put this on the list. I want this card to be good. It has very cool words on it. 3 mana, 3/2, flash. When somebody draws their second card, you draw a card. Even on the backside, it's a double striker. And when you hit somebody, you get to draw a card. Cool stuff. However, literally, my games of myself and watching other people, every time I saw it on the battlefield, it was very pedestrian. It was just effectively a 3/2. When you got it on the backside, the double strike was nice, but it doesn't have any evasion. So, it doesn't have menace, it doesn't have flying. Like, first strike's not, well, I guess technically double strike on the backside. On the front side, it's just a 3/2. And I know it's like just a 3/2 sounds silly, but unless you're playing stuff that's like making people draw or whatever, it just wasn't doing much. It was getting outclassed by a lot of other cards. Now, if you play older formats and you want to make this in paper, or maybe you're playing it in Brawl or something else on Arena, one of the older time lists or whatever, where people are using cantrips and drawing a bunch of cards from other effects, then yeah, this card's probably great. But so far, what we've seen in Standard, it's not so great. Again, not saying the card's terrible, because again, I'm on your side. I like the card. But this might be one of those ones you might need to wait on for a couple of weeks to see where things settle in and if it makes sense for the meta or not. But right now, it looks like that answer is no, at least in the immediate short term. The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. This one comes with kind of an asterisk. I don't think it 100% belongs on the don't craft list. This is more a craft with caution announcement. Maybe I should have like blaring alerts or something, right? Because this is 4 mana for a 4/4, and when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get to make a 1/1 squirrel. Then you can pay 4 mana and create X number of squirrels equal to the number of squirrels you control. This is an issue because it's probably right now the third or fourth best green card at 4 mana. Depending on the deck, maybe the fourth, other times the third. So that's going to make it hard to squeeze into some lists. It is a 4/4 body for 4 that comes with another creature, so I'm not turning my nose up at that. But if you are playing it with the Shang-Chi combo and, getting a bunch of frees, then obviously you play it, right? You're trying to combo out, get a bunch of squirrels, attack your opponent with 150 squirrels the next turn. Makes a lot of sense, and I think that's fine. I think the reason I put it on the list is more I thought about it is this card good enough on its own if you don't have the combo pieces to make it worth playing over one of the other 4 mana options, whether we're talking about Ouroboros or I Still Explore, stuff like that, right? Probably, but how many are we going to want to craft? Does the deck just want 1 or 2? Because we did play a mono green list where this card made sense to play, and it was just fine. Wasn't that exciting. So it feels like you want to craft this if you're playing it as part of the combo too, or some way that you could eventually generate enough mana to activate this at least twice in a turn. If you're not doing that, then maybe only craft 1 and have some fun with it and toss it in your list. I don't know. But like I said, this was the weirdest one to put on the list. And I know Squirrel Girl has a lot of fans and the people are going to be really mad about this. But I'm just basing this on what we've seen so far and discussions we've seen and how well it's selling and just piecing all this stuff together like we do every season. But, if you want to play it, go for it. My list isn't gospel. And like I said, that's why you should listen to multiple people, not just me. They may have seen or played other things that I didn't. But as of now, I would say hold off. Maybe craft one because you want to toss it in your green deck or your Gruul aggro deck or wherever the case is. Unless you're doing the combo thing, then yeah, go ahead and craft a set of 4. Otherwise, I would hold off on spending resources on it. Heroic Feast. Yeah, this one was interesting. 2 and a green for an enchantment. When it enters, you create a food, and then whenever you gain life, choose up to that many creatures and put a +1/+1 counter on each of them. I saw this used a couple of different ways in decks that were generating lots of food. Some of the like Abzan black decks that were just gaining life and then trying to put counters on things. But there were really two issues. The first is that it's kind of slow for what those decks tend to do, right? On turn 3, you want to be playing black, Maseo, the black white bat that like returns stuff from the graveyard or whatever, right? You just have better things you could play at 3 that are also aggressive and gain life on their own. This also kind of is just slow in the sense of, okay, I gain life, I get to put some extra 1 counters, but you already have things that are just putting counters on things anyway, right? So it was kind of redundant and not really necessary. And I couldn't think of a deck that just needed all that extra food to take advantage of this. So this is another one. I would say if you were thinking about crafted, I would back off on it. If you just open up one and you're already playing the life gain deck or some food deck and you want to play it to test it out, go for it. But I wouldn't look at it as a centerpiece of a deck. Honestly, I think even if something decides to play it, you probably only want 2 copies. But we'll see. But this is one that I think some people were really looking forward to trying, and each time I saw it, it just looked kind of bad. Oh man, I'd be lying if I said this one didn't break my heart a little bit. But Wolverine Fierce Fighter, 2 red green for a 3/5 mutant berserker hero. It has haste. When it enters, it fights up to one other target creature. Could be something of your own. It doesn't say it has to be an opponent's creature, which is nice. If damage would be dealt to Wolverine, instead that damage is dealt, but all the previous damage is healed. A very cool card. I think the issue for this card is going to be twofold. Is there a red green aggro, red green haste, whatever type deck where this is playable? Because then it allows you to just have another removal spell that happens to be a creature, and that's great. Or do the hero decks develop in a way that this card is playable? But I put in a couple decks and it was pretty much fine. That was like the best I could say about it in playing it. I also saw a couple other people try it, and it also looked fine or below fine. So I haven't seen a spot where this card just looked good yet, and I think that's the issue. And again, maybe the right deck hasn't been found for it, and the Gruul deck that exists now are really just sort of mono red, splashing some green, and they wouldn't really play this type of card. So it might be just a card that a certain deck needs to come around to play it, or it may even be a card that's just going to be better later in the year, maybe when rotation happens at the beginning of next year. But right now, I know Wolverine has a lot of fans and people are looking forward to playing this card, but I would hold off on it. Again, if you open one by cracking your pack, sure, give it a go, but I wouldn't spend any crazy resources on it because, again, I don't think it was terrible in the decks I played it in. It was just kind of okay, right? But there were also times where had I just had another removal spell that just dealt 3 damage, I could have done the thing a turn or two before. So I don't know. This was a very tough one. It's a very fun card, a very unique card, and maybe there's a world where Wolverine gets some, I don't know, auras attached to it, and Wolverine's your thing you're protecting to do a bunch of damage, because I could see that being a thing. But we haven't figured out what that is yet. So I would just hold off on this one a bit. Storm Windrider. This was an interesting one, right? 1 green, white, white for a 4/4 mutant hero flying. Creatures with flying can't attack you or block creatures you control. When you cast a spell that targets 1 or more creatures, those creatures gain flying until end of turn. Could be your creatures, could be your opponent's creatures. Give your stuff flying so you can attack through. Give your opponent stuff flying so they can't attack you. Very interesting card. But the weird thing about this card is there were a lot of people excited about it. Matter of fact, I watched people open packs over the weekend that were excited about it. But when you ask people, nobody has any idea what they're going to do with this, right? And it's a weird card because it wants you to have non-creature things to be able to take advantage of your creatures attacking. Unless, I mean, maybe just Storm herself is the thing that's attacking and winning. I don't know. But I'm not sure how this is going to work out yet. And honestly, as far as decks go, largely non-existent to the point that you almost wonder if people have theories for this card, but nobody was able to commit to it because we don't really know what to do with it. So that alone to me was enough reason to put it on a list and say, hey, yeah, this is a popular character and it looks like a really sweet card, but nobody knows what the hell to do with it yet. So pump the brakes. Don't waste your resources till we figure it out. Daredevil, Man Without Fear, 2 red, white, 3/4 human hero, vigilance, haste. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. Whenever you attack, you may exile the top card of your library. If it's a hero, this card gets +2/+1, and until the turn, you can play that card. This is an interesting card. I just don't think it's works well, right? Each time I saw it, it was like, okay, you have a 3/4, you attack. Maybe it's a 5 for a turn, maybe it's not. But then you don't really have the like. I don't even know why this card doesn't say until next turn, right? Because it's a 4 mana 3/4. If you attack, you've exiled a card that you obviously can't play because you just spent 4 mana playing this guy with haste. So I don't really get it. It's kind of confusing. But each time I saw it, the card just wasn't good. And really, again, it has the same problem that if the hero decks aren't good, this card's going to have even less of a chance to be played. I do think there's still some good hero decks out there, but the ones we've seen actually don't want cards like Daredevil. They want to stay on the cheap side, or maybe they want to play equipment, or maybe they want to flicker stuff, but none of them really want the Daredevil card. And if you're a Daredevil fan, I would wait till the next set of the following set comes out. Maybe we get Midnight Suns and you get like this, Ghost Rider, Punisher, whatever, and then you maybe get a sweet Daredevil to play with. But this one doesn't seem like it's going to be the one. Right, so our Ironheart, Clever Champion, it's 4 and a blue for a 3/4 human hero. It has Improvise, so sometimes you're going to get to play this cheaply. It has Flying, and non-creature spells you cast have Improvise, which does count artifacts because they're non-creatures, though a lot of times you are going to have artifact creatures, and that's a whole problem. But the decks we saw it in, it sort of felt like it was a, I don't know, style points kind of card, win better, but you're either winning or you won't, and because of this card, doesn't really matter. We already have some other cards that are roughly the same size. We're talking about 3/4 flyers and whatnot in standard that actually just cost less, right? They don't have improvise where you have to tap other things to get them. They just have affinity, so they're just cheaper. And that's kind of a thing you'd rather just play, right? So I think that's the first issue on this. The other is all your other stuff having improvise is cool, but again, you have to tap all those things, which in a lot of the decks we've seen, a lot of those things are creatures. We don't want to be tapping our creatures just to play other things. We want to be tapping our creatures to attack. So until I think the exact deck comes out that plays this and really takes advantage of it, I would wait and see what that deck is, because I don't think we know what that is yet. But whatever it is probably going to look a lot different than what we see out there right now. Yeah, and this is just a bonus card I decided to add to the list. Multiversal Incursion. 5 blue sorcery. For each non-token creature you control, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it isn't legendary. Honestly, this is just a trap. Like, it's 7 mana. Every once in a while, you ramp up, you're going to do some really cool thing, but it's not going to go in a very consistent and good deck. A couple of times I saw people try it. You were just beat down. You were copying like 2 things, and this only copies creatures. It doesn't copy non-creatures. We just have so many other copy effects that are just better, easier to trigger, cheaper to cast. I just don't think this is it. Like, it's a sweet card. If the one time it works and you just like doing fun things, this is your jam. But for most people, don't spend your resources on it. You'd be using a mythic for a card that is not really going to help you win that many more games. But yeah, as I mentioned in the opener, be sure to check out other content, other podcasts, other YouTube channels. I'm just one data point. Other people may have seen other stuff I didn't see. They might have played other things I didn't play and have a different perspective entirely. But just use this as one data point in making your decision on what you want to buy or what you want to craft on Arena. But also, if you're looking for things that did live up to the hype that you probably can craft more safely, check out our other video with stuff that you should probably craft. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.